All right, you savvy DFW homeowners, listen up, because today we're diving deep into what your move-up moment in 2025 could look like.
That's right. We're talking luxury living, bigger homes, better neighborhoods, the whole 9 yards.
We'll break down expert predictions for the DFW market in 2025 and give you the inside scoop on what to expect.
So you can make the best decision for you and your family.
Think of it like this. We've got our intel team on the ground feeding us the latest so you can be ahead of the game.
Absolutely. Knowledge is power, especially in a market like DFW.
So let's jump right in. First up, prices. Are we talking another wild ride, or are things finally chilling out?
You know what? It seems like the market is taking a bit of a breather. Most projections are showing modest price growth, something like 3 to 5% overall.
All right, so not totally bonkers, but still going up a little. Why the slowdown, though?
Well, inventory is playing a huge role. There are just way more houses available for sale now, which means buyers have more options.
So they're not as desperate to, throw crazy money at the
Mhm.
first decent house they see.
Exactly. They can actually, take their time, be a little more picky.
Thank God for that. No more bidding wars at the crack of dawn.
Right. It's a much more civilized market now.
And speaking of more houses, you said active listings are up by like, what was it, 35% or something?
Yeah, 35.7% more than this time last year. That's a pretty big jump.
That is huge.
Mhm.
Okay, so Zillow is predicting the median home price, which is around 412 grand right now, will climb to about 416,726 by 2025. But you mentioned some areas are actually seeing prices dip a little. What's up with that?
Right. That's where things get really interesting. While some areas are seeing modest growth, others are experiencing a slight correction. It's kind of like a balancing act.
So some parts of DFW are hotter than others. Got it.
Sure.
What areas are we talking about specifically?
Well, Dallas County, for instance, is down 3.8%. And Collin County, where a lot of our listeners are probably looking to move up, is down 4.6%.
So wait, when prices are down, that's actually good news for someone selling their house.
It can be, especially if you're planning to upgrade to a more expensive home in a hotter area.
Mind blown.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to the elephant in the room. Mortgage rates. Everyone's freaking out about those. What's the outlook for 2025?
Deep breaths, everyone. The good news is rates seem to be stabilizing after all that craziness. Projections are pointing to the high 6% range, maybe even dipping down to 6.5%.
Okay, so still higher than we're used to, but hey, at least they're not shooting up every other week.
Exactly. Stability is key. It lets buyers and sellers plan a little better.
So if someone's getting a typical 30-year loan, they're looking at somewhere between 6 and 7% interest,
That's about right. Still historically low, but yeah, there's definitely something to factor in.
for sure. Okay, back to the good news. We talked about more houses being available, which is great for buyers. What's driving that?
Well, we're seeing a surge in new construction,
Mhm.
especially in those hot areas like McKinney, and Plano developers are going all in.
So basically, buyers aren't going to be in a complete bloodbath trying to snag a decent house anymore.
Exactly. It's less of a Hunger Games scenario and more like, picking out your favorite donut at a well-stocked bakery.
Okay, donut analogy, I like it.
Mm-hmm.
So for our listeners thinking of selling and moving on up, what areas should they be keeping an eye on? What are the hot spots and maybe some hidden gems?
Well, if they're looking to make a serious upgrade, they should definitely check out places like Frisco, Denton, Mansfield. Even Little Elm and Prosper are showing some real promise.
So those are areas with potential for appreciation, right?
Yeah.
Places where they could get in before the next big boom. This is that insider intel, right?
Absolutely. These are markets that are really starting to heat up, both in terms of housing values and overall desirability.
Nice. But let's zoom out for a second and look at the big picture. DFW is predicted to be the hottest real estate market in the whole damn country this year. That's a pretty big deal. What's driving that?
It's massive. It means DFW is attracting a ton of investment and development, which creates jobs, boosts the economy, and ultimately drives up demand for housing.
And that's why it's so important to understand those little nuances we talked about earlier.
Exactly. Yes, some areas are seeing prices dip a bit, but the overall trend is still incredibly positive. This market is dynamic, full of opportunity.
Especially if you know where to look.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, so let's recap this for our listener who's thinking of making that move up. Maybe even going full-on luxury in Collin County.
Let's do it.
Prices are looking pretty good, with potential for both gains and some sweet deals. Mortgage rates, yeah, they're a bit of a bummer, but at least they're not going completely haywire. Inventory's up, which means more choices for buyers and less stress for sellers. And DFW as a whole, hot, hot, hot.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
So as you think about your next dream home, what's most important to you? Is it location, size, amenities? Figure out your non-negotiables and use this market to your advantage.
And if you're feeling a little overwhelmed, don't hesitate to reach out to a local expert, someone who really knows the ins and outs of the DFW market.
Yeah, like Christina Money at the Money Group. She is the bomb.com when it comes to DFW real estate. She can help you navigate everything from selling your current home to finding that perfect upgrade.
Absolutely. A good agent can make all the difference.
All right, folks. That's a wrap on our DFW real estate deep dive. Go out there, make those power moves, and we'll catch you next time.